This video is brought to you by Carter Enterprises, serving all your technology needs. Now I got another unboxing video for you here, guys. Figured this would be a little bit more exciting than the rest, something everyone's a little more interested in. New EVGA GTX 480, new NVIDIA graphics card that's supposed to kick the butt of everything else out there, which everyone I've seen using it does. Hopefully with my configuration it will. But really solid card. They have a couple different options available from EVGA. They have the standard clocked, the super clocked, and the For the Win edition, and the super clocked plus. From what I've seen on these, if you're comfortable overclocking yourself, there is no reason to buy those. Yes, it does it automatically on the card level, but you're only getting 25 to 50 megahertz over the stock core clocks, unless you get the For the Win edition, which is water cooled. If you're not using water cooling, that doesn't work for you. For my situation, it's not worth spending the extra $60 to get the top end card, the Superclock Plus, for only that little bit of megahertz, because I know this card will go easily 50 to 100 megahertz over stock, maybe even 2 or 3, depending on your voltages. So that's why I went with this edition, but of course you still want to get a 480. A lot of people are talking about the 470 and the 465 and stuff like that. If you're going to get this card, spend the money. Get the 480. If you're not going to spend the money on this, go back and get a GTX 285. You're going to spend less money and get close to the same performance you're going to get with like a 260 or 460. If you're going to go up to a new card, this is what you go to, pretty much in the NVIDIA line. But go ahead and open it now, if I can get through the packaging, as always. But one nice thing they always do with EVGA, and I don't know about the other manufacturers because I usually only use their cards, but they leave it open in the back so you can see your serial number of your card right on the back, which is really nice. Give you a lot of information on the card right on the box, which is nice. One of the other cool things that the EVGAs come with, I know that MSI's and I think the Sapphires cards do too, which is their overclocking utility. But I particularly like the EVGA overclocking utility. I've never had problems with it. It works really solid, especially the new edition. And also their voltage tweaker that they have for the EVGAs. A lot of people have hacked it, so now you can really up the voltage a lot more than you want. But of course, once you start going past what EVGA wants you to for your voltage, you're going to start voiding your warranty. Nice security seal, as always. Another thing I've always noticed too is that, at least with EVGA, they really package their cards very well. They put them in these huge piece of foam, which are really nice and solid. It really protects the card. It's really cool they give you with this one is they give you a nice bumper sticker. I might actually stick this on my case. This is the first time I'll ever stick anything on my case. That's pretty cool. Got your user guide and your drivers and your software. Under the little hideaway hole here, they've got your mini HDMI to HDMI cable, your 8-pin and your Molex to 6-pin, and then your dual 6 to 8, which I would never on these higher end cards recommend using. If your power supply doesn't come with those connectors, I don't like it. I see problems. I don't like the voltages. It just doesn't give you solid voltage. Of course, you got a DVI to VGA adapter. Have to have that for older monitors. And then you get the beautiful card. And as you can see, that is really packed in there well. That is severely packed in there well. You also get a very nice decal. Very well wrapped. This is actually better than the 280s when they were first coming out, the way they were wrapped. The 280s weren't wrapped too well. They had some issues with their packaging back then. Of course, you get a nice warning there about the power adapters. As you can see, EVGA is nice about not putting a lot of stickers and stuff on their cards. They like keeping the reference design and being very close to the way it looks. I like that because, especially if you're using components from a lot of different manufacturers, it doesn't really like stand out and go, oh my god, he's got this, but that's different, and this is different, and it's all crazy. Another thing, a lot of people have been saying that these sound like leaf blowers. Suffice it to say, any high-end graphics card you get, period, if you're going into this level of graphics card, it's going to sound like a leaf blower at full RPM, period. It's the way they are. Unless you switch it to water cooling or you get an aftermarket cooler for it, it's going to sound like a leaf blower. Now, if your case is set up like mine, which I'll do another video later today showing you guys my gaming rig, it's a Silverstone case though, there's very nice noise dampening in there. You really can't hear it. Even my old GTX 280s, I've got 2 of those in there as an SLI. Those at full throttle, it's really not that loud. It's quieter than my old CPU cooler. So it's not bad. But you can see this is really slick setup they give you. If you need to repackage it, you've got it right there. It all saves, and I always save these because these work really good if you have an older card like my old GTX 280 I've got to put back in here because I'm throwing this in single. But yeah, I mean, it's a really solid card. Everyone should check it out. I'm going to try to get some benchmarks up later. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing today. And I've got some other reviews and unboxings that are going to be happening today. Talk to you guys later. Okay, as I promised, I said I'd get some overclocks on here. Unfortunately, I had to redo my entire system after I put in this card in my new processor, which you'll see later, because my BIOS didn't like it, and after I reset all that, got everything working, it just went into and decided to corrupt the Windows registry because it didn't like seeing all 6 cores. Don't understand why, but it did. So I just reinstalled. But anyways, these are what the stock clocks are, as you can see. On the GTX 480s, the core clock is controlled by a multiplier of the shader clock, so you can only mess with the shader clock, which is fine. Take some complexity out of it. The EVGA voltage tool doesn't work on here yet, so all the overclocks were without any kind of voltage changes, which is nice because I got a decent amount, you'll see. But the stock clocks is, and I got 2 programs open there, so you can see one is GPU-Z, so you can see I'm not fudging anything, but the shader clock's at 1451, which is stock, and the memory's at 1900, which is stock. As you can see here in the next slide, stable, running anything I want to run. I ran through Crisis benchmarks multiple times, a couple of different games. Everything ran completely solid. Went from the 1450 to 1700 megahertz shader clock. And the memory clock went from 1900 to 2100. I did find, because I can't do any voltage changes right now, 1700 was the max for the shader clock. Anything above that was starting to glitch. And the memory clock, that was as high as it'll go. Usually I don't push the memory too far because there's not a lot of headroom usually on that anyways. I'm going to try to get some other benchmarks up for you and otherwise, but there gives you a little taste of the power of this card. And again, the reason why you don't bother buying the superclocked or the For the Win edition, because you can do it with this card and save $60-70 bucks.